So I've had a couple of coffees, I've had some confidence oil. Alright, so why we're all here today? Obviously we want leads to generate for our business and everything else, but I think we're all here also because we want to develop and grow as people so that we can make the best out of our business. Is that right? That's why I'm here. I want to develop more in presenting. That's why I asked if I could present to you guys, but also the stuff I'm going to be talking about, a lot of it's just my beliefs, but I want to reinforce a lot of this stuff with myself. Because I'm a slow learner and I'll hear it from others, but then I need to hear it from myself a heap of times too before I actually nail it. Make sense? Awesome. Some years ago, you all know that I think you all know that I grew up in Melbourne, and quite some years ago down there I had this old station wagon, and it was my first car, and I really wanted this ute. And now I knew nothing about goal setting back then, but this idea of having this ute really became a strong desire of mine. And I'm like, I'm going to get that car. And I didn't know how because I wasn't in the position to be able to afford it. But anyway, as time passed on, stuff happened at work and I got in the position that I was able to buy the car. And I still remember the day when I was driving home from the dealership. Man, I was so wrapped. Punching through the gears, windows down, just cruising along. It's an awesome day. And I remember just looking around all the other cars on the road thinking, man, I didn't realise there was so many shit boxes on the road. So it just felt so good in this new car of mine. But the thing is, the love that I had for this car, that kept going, and I put so much effort into looking after the car. Always cleaning it, getting it serviced on time or before anything goes wrong, get it fixed straight away. I even invested a lot of time and effort and also finances in improving the car. Upgraded the stereo system, which the neighbours really got pissed off about. Put some new rims on it, you know, did a lot to really make that car everything it could be. Now, there came a time I had to get rid of it, and I was without a car for some time, and my mum up here actually was whizzing around a little Mini Cooper, and sort of wasn't using it and as much as she wasn't forced, so I struck a deal with my parents to buy it off them real cheap. So this little yellow hairdressing car, Mini Cooper, that was a fun car to drive. You know, I really enjoyed driving it, getting around it. However, I didn't have that same love and passion for the car. And that really was a reflection of how I looked after it. You see, I only cleaned it like a couple of times the whole time I had it. Didn't get it serviced. It actually ended up breaking down outside my apartment block and staying there for a couple of months. That's not something I'm real proud of. Pretty pathetic on my part. But the point is, you see, we're no different to how we feel about ourselves to how those cars were to me. If we really love who we are, really enjoy and like ourselves and are passionate about who we are and what we're doing, not only are we going to be investing our time and energy and even finances in maintaining ourselves to be great, but we're going to be wanting to improve ourselves all the time. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm talking about today, how to improve the profits of you proprietary limited. So we've all got businesses here, right? And we all want to ramp up the profits of our own businesses. But it's got to start with our own lives. And You Proprietary Limited is something that was taught to me and really changed my whole perspective of how I look at myself and how I manage my life. You Proprietary Limited, you are your company. So in your company you've got your CEO, and you're the CEO of You Proprietary Limited. You look after the shareholders, which happens to be you. You're the CFO. You know, you've got to manage your finances. No one else is going to take care of that shit. You're the...
Bradville.
Bradville. You're the HR manager. You've got to sort out who's actually contributing to the company, who's adding value to your life. Maybe some people you've got to look at and say, well, it's time to give them a severance package, buy them a gift and say, see you later. Thanks for committing the last several years to this company. But me, Proprietary Limited, it's not working out for us. I've got to hire someone new into my life. I've been there many times. It's awesome. Makes sense? So that's what You Proprietary Limited is all about. So that's something that's really changed the way I look at myself. Now the thing is, what sort of profits do you want to get out of You Proprietary Limited? Obviously in our businesses, the profits we want to produce is fundamentally finance. We want to get that bottom line, bottom dollar. And also, we probably want to make some sort of big difference in the world, I'm guessing. Now, in your own life, the profits might be financial, but you might also have profits of just wanting more happiness and contentment in your life. All sorts of things. So, I'm going to be covering a couple of points today. I'm going to start with my third point, so we'll count down to number 1 being income. Cool. Point number 3 is knowing what you want. So basically knowing what kind of profits you want from your life. And because it's all well and good to have a business, have your purpose in life, of really driving and working hard and doing all these things, but what's it all for? What do you really want to achieve? What do you want in your life? And I want everyone to do a quick exercise now, is that cool? Take out a pen and paper. This is something I did some time ago, and I've started doing it regularly, because it really opens my mind every time I do it.
Mate, I live in a digital age, can't practice in the hard, but...
Get your iPads then.
Yeah, mate.
Me too. Get your iPads out or whatever you want. It's probably easier with pen and paper, but whatever works for it. Now remember back when you were at school, you may have had one of your teachers ask you, hey, what house do you want when you're older? And because you're just a kid, you're like, I want a massive mansion with 20 bedrooms and water slides coming down from every room into a massive lake full of dolphins. And I want a motorbike track in my backyard. And like, it was just limitless. You didn't put any limitations on your imagination to what you wanted. Whereas now, someone asks you, where do you want to live for your next place? You're like, somewhere out in the suburbs because it's going to be cheaper. I only need a 1-car garage, really. I don't need anything extravagant. Something small, so I don't need to spend time cleaning it. You put all these limitations on it. For the purpose of this, I want you to take away all limitations. Just open your mind. And I want you to quickly write down, well, you've got 1 minute, write down everything you want in life, or rather every experience you want in life. It might be already stuff you've got. Go for it. The reason I say experience is because things, material things, we can't take with us when we die. We just get the opportunity to experience them all here. So try and think of your wildest things that you have. Just free write. As soon as a thought comes into your mind, jot it down. Got another 30 seconds, get those pens moving. Alright, that'll do. I'll get you to finish at home though. Did everyone have some pretty wild stuff? Obviously we didn't spend much time. I took about 10 to 20 minutes on this first. What I found for me is that it really stretched my mind and opened my mind to things. It's like, man, no limitations. We did it as a team actually. The first time, and we had things like, I think one of Jared's was had my own skyscraper, had our own balloon, had a movie made about my life, all this different stuff. Started a charity organisation that saves millions of lives and all sorts of things. And it just opens your mind. Did you know that, you might think that some of these things are just unrealistic and, oh, I'm never going to be able to achieve that, or I can't do this, or I can never have that car or that house, I can't have that family or that relationship, whatever it is. But did you know there's people who are uglier, dumber, older, less capital, they've had worse upbringings, just so many worse things off than what you have, and they've achieved so many great things, possibly even greater things than some of the things that you've written down. So what's your excuse?
Captain Moore and Cap would be famous.
I don't know.
He's still pending signs, I think.
So someone told me that, and I started thinking, oh yeah, but I've got all these limitations. Focusing on the negative, just as you were talking about earlier. Need to look at, well, what do we have going for ourselves? Open your mind and think nothing is impossible. You can revolutionise the motorbike industry across the whole world. It's pretty cool.
Richard Branson was really just from a spaceship.
That's it.
Taking everyone else to the space. Yeah.
Everyone else told him he can't do it. Did anyway. So there's a great man by the name of Jim Rohn. Anyone heard of him? He once said a bit of a quote which he said, if your goal is to have $1 million, once you acquire that $1 million, you might as well just give it all away. As you see, it's not about the $1 million. It's about the person that you become in the process of getting there. So what he's really talking about there is your values. Like, who do you have to become to reach those goals? Then there might be some things on that list that you wrote down and that you might continue to write down at home. Maybe some way out goals out there that you think, yeah, I want that. But then you look at the person you've got to become to get to that goal. I'll give you an example. Say you want to be a world champion in a particular sport. But then you're like, right, what person do I have to become to get there? Yes, it's possible because everything you want to do in life is possible. But I've got to become disciplined. I've got to become, super structured with everything. I've got to be, just do everything the coach says. I can't, piss it up every Friday night because I've got to train and all these different things that you've got to have in your life. And you might decide, well, no, that's not something I want. So looking at your values might change what your actual goal is. Makes sense? Got a little goal setting story for you. Goal setting is so important. I shared the story about the Ute. That was a goal setting story. Another one is when I was pretty young, I had some pretty average girlfriends. And I just ended this relationship with this chick, and my old man said to me, he goes, Steve, what do you actually want in a partner? I'm like, someone hot? I didn't really know. And he said, well, what you should do is write down a list of all the qualities you want in a person. Now, because I was pretty young and everything else, I didn't really listen to him for some time. And I eventually did, and I wrote down this list. It was, not that much on the list. Pretty superficial. So the next girlfriend I had was this hot blonde bimbo with big tits. And my mates thought it was great. And they were like, Steve, how'd you come across that? And I'm like, wrote it down. Wrote the goals down and get it. Now, I came to realise that I probably needed some other, attributes in a person, so that didn't work out. But the point is, after that,
I don't think that was just your inability to just look past the issues.
That's right.
Issues? I've never called that before.
She had issues. So anyway, after that experience, right, I got the list out again and rewrote it. And now instead of the list being that big, it was now like super long, because this time I didn't just write a few of the key things I want in a person. I wrote what the perfect person in my life would be. So every detail. And then sometime later, I come across this person, and she's actually the reason I stayed in Brisbane, because straight away I hit it off. And it wasn't until probably a couple of months into the relationship with her that I came across this list on my computer that I hadn't seen for some time. She ticked every single thing on that list, which is pretty cool. Now that one didn't work out either, but that's not the point. The point is, I set that goal specifically.
Which thing on her list didn't you fit?
Who knows, who knows?
You don't remember the song from last
He's
week.
too good looking, that's it.
A lot of the values changed, and I actually haven't changed those since, but there would be a lot of different things on there now, so they want me to, because I've changed a lot too. So the point is, write stuff down.